you watch my videos on a regular basis, you might have noticed in the past couple of months I've had nothing but super expensive vehicles. Lexus, Audi, Mercedes, more Lexus. Cars running over $100,000 in many cases. As much as I enjoy driving that expensive machinery, it's not very practical. I mean, you go to the store to get a gallon of milk and a $100,000 car with enough buttons and controls and rocket launchers and ejection seats. I decided to get something a bit more practical for the next couple of weeks. You know, something normal people drive. So let's open the door and see what we're rolling out here. We'll just press the magic open button. Looks like a Subaru to me. This is a 2019 Forester, says so right here. The factory literature says this is an all-new Subaru Forester built on a new global platform. We'll take their word for it. Appearance-wise, it looks an awful lot like the previous model Subarus to me, but I guess Subaru fans will be able to pick out the major differences. From the side, it looks more like a station wagon than an SUV to me, but we do get 8.7 inches of ground clearance, so you do have the ability to go off-road, which we'll be doing later on in this video. And for some reason that baffles me, Subaru has an awful lot of shiny chrome on the outside. As you can see, reflecting all over the vehicle. There's about 20 other angles I could give you, but I'm not going to. If you're impressed with shiny objects, this might be the vehicle for you. And here's a rear view for you. Shipped all the way from Illinois, just for you and me. Even though the Subaru is a Japanese brand, they're assembled in USA by American workers, for those who care about those things. Under the hood is Subaru's proven 2.5-liter four-cylinder boxer engine, cranking out 182 horsepower at 5,800 RPM, 176 pounds-feet of torque at 4,400 RPM. Fuel economies read 26 city, 33 highway, and 29 combined. Good mileage if you can get it. We'll be doing a lot of driving to find out. Instead of a conventional 6-speed automatic transmission, we get a CVT automatic, as we find in most Subarus. We'll talk about that later too. There's one feature that really impressed me, actually kind of blew me away. That's how high the hood raises. Like a clamshell. Look at that. Look at all the room you've got. You can lift the engine right out of there without ever taking the hood off. Nice feature. Makes me wonder why other vehicle manufacturers don't do this. High performance LED headlights are now standard on all Foresters, so we're going to take these lights out in the dark and see how they perform as we do in all my videos, and we'll do that right now. It's dark enough. Let's take these headlights out and see what happens. Look pretty bright to me. Is it my imagination, or are these headlights turning with the steering wheel? Looks like they are. If so, that's a pretty good feature. Here we have the brights only building 300 feet away with a chain link fence in between, around 200 feet. Pretty good light, good height, good spread. Go to low beam. Doesn't quite reach, but more than adequate for city driving. For those interested, this is what the cabin looks like at night. Not the sharpest image around, but this camera can only do so much, but everything lights up pretty good. We'll take a closer look at the cabin in the daylight later on in the video, and when we do, you'll notice the entire cabin's full of sand and dirt. Can't do anything about that. We have 20-30 mile per hour winds all week, dust blowing everywhere. Can't keep it clean. So no emails, please. I know the interior is dirty. The cabin's nothing fancy, but the materials and workmanship are very good. Room for 2 full-size adults in the second row seating. The rear cargo capacity is 33 cubic feet with the second row seats up. Put the second row seats down, you get 71 cubic feet. I really appreciated this rubber mat that keeps gear from sliding around. Yes, we do get a spare tire. You'd be surprised the number of SUVs that don't come with one. Not very good when you get a flat. There's plenty of room in this glove box if you take out this super thick owner's manual, which fits just fine in the back here. This vehicle is capable of towing, but you're limited to 1,500 pounds. The gauge cluster is well designed, gives lots of useful information in the center screen. Another information screen on top of the dash. A navigation screen that's large enough, for me anyway. Before we start our driving test, I want to cover the climate controls. As you can see, very simple. Just a couple of knobs and buttons. Even a monkey could use this. And it does an excellent job of blowing cold air on a hot day. There are a few negative issues you have to deal with. First of all, the noise. If you turn this up all the way, it's loud. Sounds like I'm on the back end of a 747 jumbo jet engine. Quite a hurricane in here. And number two, look at the position of this vent. I want the air to blow on me, but it's blowing on the steering wheel instead. You can't see the vent, you can't see the air, or feel it in this case. A similar situation on the left side, but not as serious. I can work around this a bit. In any case, this is one of those what the heck were they thinking moments. And third, when you mash the gas pedal to the floor to get maximum acceleration, the air conditioning compressor cuts out and blows hot air through the vents. This is done to put less stress on the engine, but on a 120-degree day, this doesn't go over very well. If you live in a mild climate, the air conditioning cutoff might not be an issue, but if you live in the desert, as we have here, you might want to be easy on the throttle if it's a hot, sunny day. Now we're done with part one of the video, show and tell segment. Part two, we're going to do some driving and get some fuel economy readings as well. As we do in all my videos, we're going to take some speed bumps around 20 miles per hour to evaluate the suspension performance on impacts. Here comes bump number one. Pretty smooth. Number two coming up. Very smooth again. Number three. And here's the big nasty one. Hang on. No difference. Very impressive. I found this power steering to be a bit too light at high-speed freeway driving, but in the city, lower speeds, it has a bit more feel and feedback to it. Not the best I've ever used, but I don't think too many people will complain. With excellent weight distribution and all-wheel drive, this vehicle takes corners quite well. A bit of body lean, but still hugging the road. Not bad at all. If you're curious about the 0 to 60 time on this vehicle, I have two things to say. First of all, this is a very potent, eager to run engine, wants to be driven hard. On the other side, instead of a regular transmission, we have the CVT rubber band unit. Rubber band is my unofficial way of describing it. These transmissions are not designed for performance. They suck the life out of engines if you're in a hurry, as we'll demonstrate here. Here's some more of that Subaru glare, shiny stuff I talked about earlier. The whole vehicle has all this shiny stuff, outside and inside. Don't know why we need that, but that's what you get. So let's floor it. You hear that droning, called the CVT drone. It sounds like an outboard motor. And again, love that drone noise. Yeah. So why do manufacturers like Subaru and Nissan love these CVT transmissions? Well, they're a simpler design and they're intended to give better fuel economy. And they will 1 or 2 miles per gallon better on the EPA test if you drive gently. The problem is if you're in a hurry, now you have to really press the gas pedal down harder to go faster. And if you're a quick driver, you'll end up using more gas. In fact, in 63 miles of driving, I'll admit I've been driving hard. I wanted to see just how low I could get the fuel economy if you were in a hurry. And there you go, 17.7 mpg. I don't think the typical Subaru Forester driver is going to be driving in a hurry like I was, or doing 0 to 60 times. In any case, we're going to reset the computer, take this on a highway trip tomorrow, and see if this figure can redeem itself. We'll also be taking this off pavement, see how these dirt and mud settings work. We're going to reset the mileage computer to 0 and take a highway trip, see if we can bump up the fuel economy figures. This Forester is an excellent highway car. It's got this giant windshield for an excellent view. The comfortable suspension we demonstrated on the speed bumps. And at the moment, we're on level ground of getting 27 miles to the gallon. We will eventually be going slightly uphill. That will drop a bit, but we'll make up for that on the return trip. We're coming to the end of our trip, and just for the record, we climbed from 1,500 feet to an elevation of 5,000 feet. Since that's going uphill, it should be interesting to see if our fuel economy is more or less than the 27 I was getting in the city in flat terrain. So we're going to pull over right now and take a peek. On this trip, we drove a distance of 102 miles, and I was getting 28.5 mpg until that last stretch from 4,000 to 5,000 feet. It dropped to 27.6. Not bad considering. We do have a return trip coming up. We've already done some pavement driving. Let's do some non-pavement driving. See how this all-wheel drive performs in the sand and dirt, especially when taking quick corners. My, snow and mud. Just what I was hoping for. I'm not going to spend too much time filming off-road material. Let's just say there's a lot of snow and mud out here. And the Subaru can do just fine as long as you don't do anything stupid. This is a light-duty off-roading machine, not a Jeep Wrangler. Once you keep that in mind, you'll be fine. In the meantime, if you like playing in the snow, this might be the rig for you. Of course, that's why we have the dirt, snow, and mud setting on the knob here. According to the factory material I read, the base Forester has a manually operated tailgate door. This particular one had the automatic electronic version. You press a button, it goes up. Press the button, it goes down. Now this is fine for loading groceries and other cargo duties around town, but you're out in the sticks, camping, whatever, The constant opening and closing, it runs the battery down. I don't like these anyway, especially being out here. On most other brands of SUVs, you usually have a disconnect switch, so you can open the door manually up and down without any effort. After reading the owner's manual, talking to the dealer, apparently we don't have that here. Electronic only. I don't care for that, but apparently that's what we've got. And if you attempt to close the door manually, the electric motor kicks in. No manual operation here either. Personally, I don't care for electrically operated rear gates, but if you do, here you go. As you can see, plenty of ground clearance. 8.7 inches, if I recall. Keeps you away from those big rocks. Time to get back to the pavement and get back to civilization. This is going to be our return highway trip, going from the 5,000 feet elevation down to around 1,500 feet. Hopefully our fuel economy will be much better than the trip coming up. Also, we'll be fighting 20 to 25 mile per hour crosswinds the entire way. The wind this afternoon is very bad, but I'm impressed by the stability of this vehicle. It doesn't seem to be affected very much. Perhaps the traction of the all-wheel drive helps. We've reached the end of our return trip. I'm going to pull over and see what the fuel economy meter says. Well, we got 30.8 on our return trip downhill, 27.6 on the original trip going uphill. Add them up, divide by 2. I think that's pretty close to 29.7 mpg. So we'll go with that. My 1 week test drive is about up. I'll be giving this car back to Subaru tomorrow morning. So what's my take on this after a week of driving? Even though I personally don't care for vehicles that have these CVT automatic transmissions in place of the conventional gearboxes, it wouldn't be a deal killer. Otherwise, this is a pretty nice vehicle, built well. Fuel economy on the freeway was pretty good. Nice engine. If you're in the market for a compact SUV and want all-wheel drive traction, this might be for you. Here's a link to other vehicles we've driven lately. Just click and watch and subscribe. I need the gas money.